Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to automatically create folders in Python where a folder doesn't exist. So in this example, I want to create a folder inside our folder called countries, and that folder name is going to be Kenya. As you know, it doesn't exist currently, but we are going to write a code that will check if that folder exists, and if it doesn't exist, then it creates that folder. So to do that, as is the custom, so is the tradition, import OS. And once we import OS, we're going to use a special function. So that function is called, or is a method within the OS library called exist. So to do that, first of all, let's create the hypothetical folder. So the folder, let's name it out. Let's say you want to write results for each individual African country. And in this case, I'm going to write it to the folder called Africa. So let's have it. So the folder Africa, it exists. But inside it, I want to write the results for Kenya, which doesn't exist. So if we check the African folder here, it only have regions, but it doesn't have got Kenya. So I'm going to create a Kenya folder under the regions folder. So this is the name of the proposed path. And then the next thing is to, so for a start, let me just remove Africa so that we create the folder inside our present working directory, that is Africa. So what I'm going to do is to check. So to check if that folder exists, we're going to use a function, a condition. So right, if not, so if not the path is there, so os.path, then dot exist. So this is just a condition to check if that path doesn't exist, and the path that we are checking if doesn't exist is the one we have specified, folder. And then since it's a condition, full colon, enter. If it doesn't exist, then let's use our OS make mk make dirs, and then do folder, make that folder. So again, let's go through the loop or the code. First of all, we import the library that will help us to create the folder. And then we specify the folder that we want to create. We want to create a folder called Kenya. We supply it as a string, and then save it as a variable called folder out. And then we check if the path of that folder exists. If it doesn't exist, then you simply tell OS to make that folder. If we run this, and I want us to run it with our folder in check, so that you can see how it's gonna do that. So you can see we don't have got Kenya here. So let's run the code. Let's run the code. So you can see it has created the folder called Kenya. So that is how you automatically create folders in your directory. So alternatively, you can create this folder inside Africa. So to do that, I can simply do current, or let's say parent folder, or parent directory. Let me use folder for consistency. And then the parent folder is simply going to be my path, which I can do OS, or even without doing that, I can simply do pw here, copy this as a string, have it there, and then I want it inside Africa. I'm gonna do Africa, and then have it inside Africa regions. So Africa, then regions. So I want it inside here, but we know that Kenya is in Eastern region. So I can add here Eastern Africa. So now I've specified that I want it to be stored in a folder called inside the countries, which is our present working directory. And then within countries, there are different folders. I want it to be stored in the folder called Africa, which is here. And then inside Africa, regions. And then inside regions, I want it to be specifically create another new folder called Eastern Africa. And then within that Eastern Africa, store the value or store the folder called Kenya. So if I run this, you're gonna see it creating the folder here. So let me run it for demonstration. Regions, Africa. Let me check if my spelling is correct. Countries, yes, Africa. Regions, then it should be Eastern Africa. Okay, so now I didn't add the parent folder, so I can do that by simply adding it, creating the path here, path, and concatenate the two, os.path.join, and then add the first one, the parent directory that I want to create, which is this, then comma, and then the second one is the folder out, which is that, and then this is what I pass inside my loop, and then it will automatically create it. So when I run this, it's going to create the folder here. So let me run that. You can see it has created the folder Eastern Africa, and inside it is Kenya. So that is how you create multiple folders inside folders. So this is going to be very, very useful when you start processing big data, because you'll want to write the results in very specific folders so that you can use them later for your analysis. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Until next time, bye-bye.